Hello, my beloved beings. It's Lintrata. Okay, so for this Friday Lifeline, we are answering this question. What can I do with my one small life to be kinder and in better communion with the earth? And I wish I could have this person on have a much deeper conversation than just a one sided one here because there's so many questions embedded in this one question. And I can at least start with the beginning part of what can I do with my one small life? And I can say for sure that even though it feels like in the context of time, our lives are so short, especially when you think of the deep time of trees and mountains. But when we can fully embody and embrace a single moment, it can stretch to feel like years, and years can stretch to feel like lifetimes and eons. And that is extremely important. And I also think it spurs on a sense of urgency for us to spread more love. And speaking of spreading more love, even though we have this one small life, when we can be in a place of passion and excitement and reverence to the point of being absolutely infectious, then we are not just using our own life in this context of bringing more joy and kindness and reciprocity to the world, but we're bringing in others in the process. But since I also know that people actually want clear cut things that they can do and not just philosophical answers, I can also say that to be in better communion, to be in better conversation, because really that's what that word is, to be in intimate relationship with something, with our earth, it's important that we learn both sides of that relationship, both sides of that intimacy, because humans have gotten so very skilled at talking. But when it comes to the earth and all of our our kingdom out there, it's we've gotten a little bit far away from being able to listen. And that listening is it's 50% of every relationship. So, to be in better communion, in better conversation, in better relationship with the world around us, we must show up consistently and listen. And you can go out and sit by a tree or sit by a rock or even by your bird feeder, and you can ask the questions, or you can ask a question if that feels good, and just listen. You can ask, how can I serve you? What do you desire? What do you need? How can I be of assistance? Anything like that. And then you must be willing to listen and listen with your whole body. Listen with your soul and your guts and your heart, as well as your ears. And sometimes that'll come right into your brain. And it's important that should the hearing, should the listening, should the receiving come in a way that um, feels like it makes you want to go, oh, but I'm not really hearing that tree, or oh, I'm not really hearing the earth. That's a huge important part of the process. Is if you're asking them to speak to you and you're listening, you have to actually honor what they have said and listen to what they've said, and not just actually hear something and say, no, I made that up. That's not real. I'm totally making this up. And it can be a tricky sort of place. And the way that I look at it is, as long as you are receiving messages of love and kindness and beauty, then you are probably receiving messages from whatever you just went out there to actually ask to be in conversation with. And like a tobacco plant once said to me, of course, I'm talking to you in your head. That's where you process language. So it's important to not discount it. And then honor what you have actually just been instructed to do. If the trees, if the earth, if the soil, if the stones are asking things like, help me rewild, help me get to a place before my domestication, before my landscaping, before my confinement and control. And then be tender with yourself in the process, but go and actually support that process. Provide a water source for the birds, plant native plants for the squirrels and the trees. It is important that we are honoring what we are being told and not asking to receive something to be in relationship, and then we're not honoring what that other being is then telling us. I hope that helps. I know that there's so much more we can go on with. If you have any follow up questions, or if you have any brand new questions you would like me to bring to these Friday Lifelines, please go ahead and message me or comment below, and I'll make sure that that I get them in for next time. Okay, that's it for now. I love you. Be well and be kind.